Hey everyone, welcome to the Oasis Podcast. I'm your host, Miss AJ. Thanks for tuning in. An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you can find tuning into the Oasis Podcast. This will be a space where I and special guests will be cultivating intentional and honest conversations about life's journey. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. Also follow us on Instagram at the Oasis Podcast. That's TheOasis Podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Oasis Podcast. This is episode 4. Yay! Thank you all for tuning in. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is enjoying this beautiful weather that we're having for like a day. I know I did. So I got dressed today with intentions of going out, and it just didn't work out that way. Like, I started doing laundry, and then I felt the weather, and I got so sidetracked with trying to do a million things at once, and finished doing laundry, and I was like, oh, I don't feel like really traveling to the city today. So I just took a shower, got dressed, put on a really nice dress. First time I got to wear it, put on some makeup, just made myself feel really pretty, feel really nice. And then I took myself to lunch at one of my favorite spots. And then I made sure to walk too. Like, I really enjoyed the walk. I got some fresh air, got some sun, which I've been fiending for. Haven't been able to take my walks like I want to. The weather hasn't been favorable, and then I just haven't been able to pull myself out the house once I come home from work or whatever I'm doing to go back outside and just take a walk. So it was really nice to go out. So I got some food, got a drink, and just got to relax and just spend time with myself. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I hope you all are able to do something nice in this weather and not just stuck working or, just not doing much. So I wanted to give you all an update. Super excited, but I found a therapist and I'm so happy that I found a therapist. It took a little while, like I told you all last episode, but I finally found, I feel like a pretty good fit thus far. I've seen her a few times, and yes, she's female, she's a woman of color, takes my insurance, and she's close by, like not too far from where I live, so it's super, super convenient, and I'm totally excited about the process. Nervous and excited. And let me tell y'all, she's already very insightful, and she's already read me, so I think I'll be able to learn quite a bit. And she's been asking me really good questions that's been making me think about just a lot of things, and I'm just totally happy about that. So to get right into today's topic, I wanted to talk about shifting, and I think I've mentioned it prior, that I'm kind of in this state of shifting. And shifting is defined as changing, especially unpredictably. And I think right now, like, that's the perfect word to describe me right now. Like, it's like I have a hold on myself, but at the same time, I feel like it's not that I don't have control. I don't want to say that. It's not true. But I feel like I'm changing, but I can't control the change. I think that's more of what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's definitely different from the previous year where I changed a lot, but I guided that change. I structured that change. This year, I feel like I'm changing, but I can't control it. Like, I can't kind of make it fit and make it comfortable. And I think that's mainly the reason why I really wanted to seek out therapy too, is to kind of have some assistance with the shifting that I'm doing into the person that I'm supposed to be becoming. And I know it has to do with, it's a new year. But, my mind shifted in regards to the things that I want moving forward, its attainability, and things that I was really cemented on, I don't feel as cemented on anymore. And also, again, because I'm actually dating now, I guess that's also changing kind of my relationship with myself, especially, not that dating is going bad at all, because it's not, but it's making me think about things a little deeper than last year, even though last year I was dating, but I didn't seriously date anyone. Whereas now I feel like I'm taking it a little more seriously. I'm super intentional, so I know exactly what I'm looking for. And so it makes it a little more, I guess for lack of better wording, difficult for me to really control. And that's a big thing about me. Like, I like to feel like I'm in control, even though I know that's not realistic and everything. But I do feel we all have more control than we think we do. And if I can control certain aspects, I will. And I feel like I'm feeling like I can't really. And so that makes me anxious. And that's another main reason why I wanted therapy, to help me also kind of deal with my anxieties that are surfacing due to these changes and the shifting. Because like the older things that I've used to do, not really helping as quickly or for as long. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't know if anybody else is feeling like that. But it's a weird space to be in. It's not exciting. I can't even say exciting. It's not exciting at all. It's just a weird space to be in. Like, not constantly questioning, but making sure I take the time to step back and think about things that I might say or that I'm feeling or want to do, to ensure that it really is going along with the goal I have for this year of honoring myself. And so, yeah, that's been a little tough because I feel like I'm just moving. I'm just going, but I'm not sure, like, if it's tying into that goal of me honoring myself. Yeah, it's a lot. So I feel like I'm shifting as an individual. I'm shifting as a woman. I'm shifting as a family member, a sister, a daughter. And also I'm relearning who I am as a partner or a potential partner. And especially that piece of it is super scary for me. Because I don't know. I know who I've been in relationships. I don't know who I've become. And it's hard now when you're dating someone, getting to know someone, and you're not really sure about that piece. Like, it's weird because you don't know if you should take a step forward, you don't know if you should take a step back. But I'm trying to keep it at an even pace. I'm trying to keep it pretty neutral so that I do make sure that I'm honoring myself. I do make sure I'm still moving intentionally, but at the same time, making sure that, it's what I want, but also ensuring that the other person is also getting what they want too, right? And that's kind of been the dance that I've been doing recently. So I'm hoping that therapy can help me do that. And I also need to spend more time with myself and my thoughts. I've noticed that I'll think about things but then run away from the thought. And meaning I don't sit with it. Like, I'll think about it and be like, okay, yeah, I'll think about that later. And then later comes and I don't do it. And like literally sitting down, quiet space, either with a notebook or something, because writing down thoughts and things helps me process. And doing that, with some either incense burning or a candle burning, but in quiet, so I can really sit with the thought. And that's kind of a form of meditation too, which I haven't been doing a lot of either, because I've really just been on the go a lot recently, which is not a bad thing, but it's also hasn't been helping with the shifting and my anxiety at all. So at this point, I feel like on paper, I got it together, but I still feel like I'm a hot mess, and it's weird. Like, it's a weird feeling, like, bills are paid, going to work, doing what I need to do. Everything is being done, taken care of. I'm not behind on anything at all, but I still feel like I'm a mess. I still feel like I'm all over the place when in reality that's not true. I think it's just that emotional piece, maybe, and mental piece that feels that way. And I really want to get that at a kind of a more peaceful state, and I know things can't always be calm and peaceful all the time. Like, that's not realistic, and I do acknowledge that. But I do want to make sure I'm dealing with it the best I can and not just accepting chaos or that feeling of chaos and like, oh, okay, that's what it is. No, I want to make sure that I am dealing with it the best way that I can deal with it, and really addressing it and really pushing myself to be open and honest and vulnerable, with my therapist, which I've had issues with previously, being vulnerable. And she's been really good at already, like, picking up certain things. And I noticed that she'll ask the question and I'll have my initial thought and I'll find myself trying to clean it up, and I'll be like, no, and I'll shake my head literally and like be like, no, let me be transparent, and then like really say just flat out what I want to say without making it sound nice or pretty, so she can really get what I'm trying to say or not. Like, if she doesn't understand, then that's fine too, and I try to clear it up. But she's been good at asking more questions to kind of dig a little bit deeper, and how she asks the questions too are really good, because when I leave the sessions, I'm not like feeling heavy or anything. Like, I feel fine, but the questions do pop back up into my head. I'm like, yeah, I should, yeah, let me think about that a little more. And so far therapy has been okay. Thus far, been good. Right now, I don't have any complaints at all with that. But I don't know if this is like a normal thing after having like a year of so many breakthroughs. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I should have continued to be in that great space, right? And part of me feels rather that should be the case, and a part of me knows that that's not realistic, right? Because last year too, I spent a lot of time with selective people, who were like really watering me, right? Meaning pouring into me. And again, selective with who was around me, who I spent my time with. This year, I have a little bit less of people pouring into me, which I also have noticed. But I'm also around newness, and that newness is giving me anxiety, and that's always been a thing for me since I was younger. Anything new would give me anxiety. Like, if I have to do a new task, if I have to learn something new, if I'm around people I don't know really, but not like a quick, hey, do a workshop and be done, but like I have to be around them, get to know them, and they get to know me, and then they're in my space type situation, it gives me anxiety. And I know that I've been experiencing a lot of that more so this year, and I think that has a lot to do with what I'm experiencing. But the shifting, I literally is a feeling though, and that's the weird part about it. I literally felt it. It started a little bit late last year. It didn't even start like 2019. It started last year, more so than anything, and it's just a strange feeling. Like, I was at a state of just calm and peacefulness. And it's not to say it just jumped to something like irritating or anything like that, but I just literally felt like something inside of me felt not unsettled. That's not the right word. I don't know. It just feel like it just tilted. Like, yeah. I'm very big on like connecting with spirit, right? Or like your inner self, whatever anyone wants to call it, right? And so I pay attention to these changes, and at first I was like, oh, maybe it's a particular situation that caused it, but no, I realized that it happened that time or that day, and then it's been there. It is not that I'm unhappy. I'm not unhappy. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. The only thing that has sparked up is my anxiety rather, about certain things. And but it's still like this underlying feeling that's there. And I also noticed that by this time of year I would have already been like on my third trip, or planning my third trip by now, and I haven't taken even one yet. And I noticed that it's playing a part, like being able to get away from just work and get away from my settings and certain people helps with me centering myself, and I haven't been able to do that, and I realized that that's also playing a part. So I'm definitely working on that, finding a place to go, just for like a long weekend, and yeah, hopefully that helps me also figure some things out as well. So this week, like, I had 2 pretty interesting interactions. One with a person I was dating, but prior to that, one was a family member. And both of these very different, happened on different days. But again, two things that kind of rattled me a little bit, and happened in literally days apart from each other, that also made me kind of uneasy and made me a lot more pensive about things. But processing both of those things made me realize that I still got some things I need to work on. And I know, out here dating, I know some of you might experience that thought or feeling and observation. There's a lot of broken people out here, right? For tons of reasons, right? Different traumas, life experiences, and they're broken. Some of them are aware, some of them are unaware, some of them are working on it, some of them aren't working on it. However, at one point, I did consider myself broken. I don't consider myself broken anymore because I've done so much work on myself. But after experiencing certain things, I do feel that though I'm not broken, that I'm still shattered. You know what I mean? And you might be thinking, oh, what's the difference? There's a difference. Shattered means, it's still the glass or whatever. It's still together, but you can see the cracks. Whereas broken is like the pieces are all over the place. And I definitely feel that I'm seeing the cracks more. And of course, when you start interacting with people and when you start dating, right, you get to learn different parts of yourself, or get to see how much growth you've had. And just even that's not dating, but just dealing with conflict kind of tests you, right? And with the situation with the family member, I think I handled it pretty well. However, like after dealing with it, it made me think about stuff. It made me feel ways that I didn't feel in a while. And so I was like, wow, that's interesting. And I had to sit down with myself and process that. And the situation, the disagreement with the person I was dating, it made me realize that I still gotta work on patience. I gotta also put myself in the mindset of now being considerate of someone else's feelings in a different way. And again, being single for the time I've been single, haven't really had to do that and haven't really wanted to do it, I guess you can say, whereas now it's a little bit different. And so stepping back and thinking about things and not being reactive, and then being able to, express myself, be accountable, but also make the other person feel heard and seen. So those were the 2 experiences this week that made me really go, yeah, you definitely need to work on some things for sure. And that's the thing, right? When we're to ourselves, when we put ourselves in boundaries, but not necessarily. Boundaries is a good thing. But when I say boundaries, in this instance, I'm talking about kind of putting yourself in a box, like a protective box. When you put yourself in that box, nothing is really getting in, nothing is getting out either. And so you're not being challenged, right? There is nothing that you have to really deal with. And I feel like I have been in that box for a little while. And it started kind of late last year, where that box, one of the walls came down, right? One of the sides came off. And I was like, oh, so these things could come in now? Like, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I have to deal with this. Like, I got to talk about this. And that's when I realized, you were nice and comfy in that box and you thought you had it all together. And now when random things can walk in and out the box, now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No. Right? I thought I handled this. Oh, no, guess not. And so it's an interesting space to be in. And definitely a huge part of the shifting that I'm feeling as well. And again, I don't know if I'm the only one feeling this. If anyone else is going through this, experiencing this, or have, please do let me know what you've done to help you kind of get past it. Things that worked for you, things that didn't work for you. But I also don't think the shifting is bad either. It doesn't feel positive or negative. But again, me being fearful of change and that causes anxiety, I also know that can be a good thing, right? It could be preparing myself for what's to come. And that's one of the things that was on my vision board, right? Not just praying for things, not just meditating on things, and not actually prepping myself for it. Now I feel like it's happening without really me intending for it to happen. Like, I'm just prepping, like, and so that's also causing anxiety. Like, so what's coming, like what's about to happen right now that I have to prep for, which is scary for me, super scary for me. And I don't like admitting when things are uncomfortable or scary, but they are. And not knowing is hard for me, like not being able to see, not being able to touch, and know is super tough for me. Always been a tough thing for me. But I'm trying to keep in mind that it's not always going to be something negative. It might be something amazing, right? It might be something awesome, something I've always wanted, something that I need. And so keeping that in mind and trying not to focus so much on the outcome itself, but the process, right? Making sure I go through the process the best way that I can go through the process. For the what's new, what's happening segment, I also want to add another piece to that, and that's intentions for the upcoming week or things that I'm looking forward to. So for this week, what I'm looking forward to is, and this is mainly because so much is going on in the world right now, right? And I really don't want to focus on that. I don't want to focus on anyone else right now, because I really don't think I have the capacity to, honestly, right now. So what I want to do is just focus on, my intention this week is to focus on centering myself, and very, very importantly, to book a vacation, because I need a break. I need a break. I've been going nonstop at work, both jobs, super busy, trying to keep up with my fitness goals, but not only booking a vacation, finding a great deal, finding a nice warm location to go to with a beach preferably, so I can just bask in the sun, catch a nice tan, forget everything, and just be, just be. That's what I really want to do, not have to think about anything at all, and just be. So that's my intention for the week. Booking a vacation, centering myself, focusing on me. So what I hope you all also do the same, right? Focus on something this week that is just about you, right? Don't focus on what celebrity passed away. Not focusing on, oh my gosh, what things I have to do because of my boss or because of my kids or because of my partner. No. What do you want? What is something that you've been saying you're going to do for yourself? What is something that you just have been thinking of but haven't acted on? Center on that. Like, focus on that and see what you can do to, if not even get it completed, but at least get it started. And so that's kind of what I want us to kind of leave with for what's happening and intentions this week. Just focus on you. So for this week's Connection Corner, I want to leave you all off with this, I'm not sure it's a quote, but statement rather. It states, validate, comfort, soothe, protect, provide, motivate. Consider it your toolkit for being kind to yourself. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis Podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and like us on Instagram at the Oasis Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, direct message us on Instagram or email us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. Again, that's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com.